Folks, I think Trump's going to win this election. I really think he's going to win this election. Go Trump. He's winning, folks. He's winning big time, bigger than you think. Just stick with me on this. Now, if you're watching the news tonight, it looks pretty grim. I will admit that. Biden looks like he has this thing in the bag. And he is up in Nevada by 11,438 votes. So you got to keep your eyes on Nevada because Nevada is worth 6 Electoral College votes. And currently, Biden has 264. So if he wins Nevada, that puts him at 270, which means he becomes president. But there is good news to report. And that is that Trump is up in Georgia by 2,497. He's also up in North Carolina by 76,701. And up by 42,185 votes in Pennsylvania, which places Trump at 49.7% of the vote in Pennsylvania. Now, there's been something going on between CNN and Fox News that has me scratching my head today, and that's the actual Electoral College vote for Biden. CNN has 253, Fox News 264. Does Fox News favor Biden? I don't think so. Then CNN has Trump at 213. Fox News has Trump at 214. Well, if you combine those two, the difference between 253, 264 is 11. And then you minus 1 from 213, 214, you come up with 12. So you've got a total of 12 Electoral College votes that are somewhere out there in the ether. Where'd they go? Do they go out over the airwaves? Is CNN hiding them? Probably. But I really believe that Trump is going to win this election in a last split-second blitz. I really believe that. So I don't want you to give up hope. Now, let's say Biden does win. I still don't want you to give up hope. Because here's what's going to happen. You know all these people that have been looting, rioting, burning down their cities? Well, they're going to go out, loot, riot, burn down their city. And they'll be exposing themselves for who they are. They'll be caught by their own or hung by their own petard. That's what's going to happen to these people. So Trump did a brilliant move tonight by calling the Democrats out and saying he's going to go after this corruption. He's giving them a dose of their own medicine. That's what he's doing. And I think he's going to win this thing fair and square. Now you've got some things going on in Philadelphia, things going on in Detroit. I posted a video earlier this morning talking about this. And if you haven't heard by now, they were kicking out these Republican ballot watchers. So these Republican ballot watchers went to a judge to allow them to get back in there. They went back and they still got kicked out. And in many cases, they were told to stand X amount of feet away, at a ridiculous amount of feet away from where they were actually doing the count, so you can see what was going on. Then in Detroit, they were covering the windows with cardboard, so you couldn't see in to see them counting. You do that, how do you know they're even counting the vote? For all you know, they could be burning them. In other locations, people were required to use Sharpies to fill out their ballots, which is against the law, because that makes the vote illegible, and the ink bleeds through the ballot, through the paper. So there's a lot of mischief going on the side of the Democrats. But like I said here, there is a lot of good news to report. Trump is up in Georgia. He's up in North Carolina. He's up in Pennsylvania. So I think he's going to grab these states. And I think he's probably going to win somewhat in, for some reason, I'm thinking in Wisconsin. Because remember, he's got these lawsuits going on. So don't give up hope, folks. I wanted to come here tonight, be a voice of calm, let you know everything's going to be okay. And we're going to make it through this. And I've got a 99.9% hunch that Trump will win this. Once again, with a last split-second blitz. That's what's going to happen. So go Trump. Because I want somebody who wants to preserve our way of life as Americans, our history, our culture, our heritage. And the electoral process is a part of that. Well, these people, these ultra-leftists, don't want that. They want to destroy our electoral process. They want to destroy our history, our culture, because they think we're flawed because we had slavery or Jim Crow or this, that, or the other. But yes, we had those things, and I've talked about this numerous times. But there are also a lot of offenses committed against whites. Oh, by the way, before I forget, have you seen the new Mississippi state flag. Have you seen this? It's best way to say it's got red banner or red stripes on the side with gold trim. In the middle is a blue field. In the middle of that is a circle of stars, and inside that is a magnolia. And they say the magnolia represents the Native American tribes that were here. Well, I've got news for you, ultra-leftists, who want to change the Mississippi state flag or what have you. Guess what? The magnolia, if you're saying it represents Native Americans owned slaves, and they owned African slaves, especially in the South. Tribes like the Cherokee and the Seminole. You can look that up if you don't believe me. So I'm going to call the new Mississippi state flag, I'm going to call it racist. And not only is it racist because Native American tribes did have slaves. I'm poking fun at these people, folks. You know what I'm doing here. But also, the red and the gold, those were colors used by the USSR, by the Soviet Union. And we know how many atrocities against humanity were committed under the Soviet Union. So I'm going to call this flag racist and offensive, the new Mississippi state flag. So what do you think about that, you ultra-leftist? So go out there, loot, riot, do what you want to do. But guess what? Those of us who love this country, we're going to win in the end. Because we are on the right side of history. We know we are. This is a great country. We're not going to let you destroy it. We're not going to let you have your way. Even if Biden wins, we're not going to let you have your way. Go out there, have the little riot party. But remember, you'll be hanging yourselves by your own petard. And it serves you right. So go Trump, and I hope he wins this thing. Not because I'm a Republican. Not because I hate Democrats, but because I can see the energy and the love that he has for this country. Regardless of whether you think the guy is a retrobate. Or you think he's the most uneducated person on the planet. I believe that Trump is the best thing we got going. You know, for a party that talks about diversity, the Democrats, they chose what? This old decrepit guy who's stiff and sounds scripted? Joe Biden? This is who you really want in the White House? Now, I saw him in my downtime at work. I saw him on a clip last night because I was tuned into Fox News trying to watch these results because you never know. Something can change in the middle of the night. And we're still waiting to hear back about these 4 states, Nevada, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. And I tell you, or was it the night before? No, it was when he was doing that press conference, when he was doing where he had the cars out there, and he made that big speech on election night. That's what it was, on election night. I was working that night. So he's making this big speech, and they did a close-up shot. Folks, he looked really old. He looked really old. They didn't even put the pancake makeup on this guy. He looks really old. But if that's what you Democrats want, go for it. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to go with the guy who wants to preserve our history and our culture, our heritage as Americans, who has the energy and the love for this country that keeps this country going, that keeps this country great. So if you enjoyed the video, please click that like button, subscribe, hit me up on Instagram at #JasonComposes, leave comments below. You can also reach me at Twitter, Voice of the Composer Twitter. Don't give up, folks. Keep the faith. I heard that today on Rush Limbaugh's show. I'm going to share that with you. Keep the faith, everybody. We're going to win this thing one way or the other. And Trump will win this. I see him winning this with a last-second or split-second blitz. So have a good night, everybody. I'll catch you later. Voice of the Composer saying peace out.